What's up, you guys? Welcome back. Happy Halloween. 2 announcements. First announcement, the sale for intuitive reading, 60 minutes, it's half off for $133, ends at midnight. I'm not going to do a sale like this until the spring. So I do them twice a year, spring and fall. So if you guys want to connect one-to-one, now's the time. I've been talking with you guys recently with the people that have been booking in, and it's been so nice to catch up. Don't forget, I also send a follow-up email with resources to keep using, so guided meditations and things that are specific to whatever it is that you're dealing with right now. So it's very thorough and an amazing value, actually, because normally I only do 90 minutes starting at $333. So take advantage of that before midnight. And yeah, that's it. I started the recording, so I had pulled these 2 cards, and I wanted to keep them, and I had to re-record. So we did get Kali and Isis. I love this, especially for Halloween. I'm actually taking my nieces out to trick or treat. Of course, the Scorpio girl who's 3 is going to be a bat. The other one's a witch, nice and safe. She's a Cancer. But that's Scorpio, Batwoman. Okay, so we're getting Kali. This is intense as the first card. Endings and beginnings, but something's got to end. It says, I release all that doesn't serve me. It's time to be the truth of who I am. This card has been coming up a lot. And I've been pulling this one in my client sessions, which is great because this is what we're doing inside of the upcoming temple programs. So this is Isis, the goddess of magic. Sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. And then under the deck, we got Teresa of Avila reversed. I also feel like I've pulled her recently. Our Lady of the Interior Life. I trust the answers I find within me. I know that the presence of love is real. This is very much a card about, creating spiritual practice, meditation, stillness, and slowing down and turning inward. It's kind of like the Hermit card. And we've been getting the Hermit reversed so many times. You know, I help you guys create a spiritual practice. That's a big part of my work. So, like I said, Rose Temple's coming back, and Magdalene Mysteries is like an advanced level, but I'm enrolling at the same time. And that's starting in the winter after the holidays. So that is the program. If you've never worked with me, Rose Temple is the place to start showing up for yourself and starting that practice as a woman. And the Rose Temple will be actually open to more people, and then the Magdalene Mysteries will be more intimate and by application, etc. They both are, but Magdalene Mysteries is going to go into this, Isis, sexual, energy practices, the Magdalene manuscript book, the meditations from that, and lots more specifics and more refined teachings on conscious relationship, both with yourself, but then sacred union, and partnership stuff, because I want to get into that in the more advanced space. Okay. Rose Temple is like self-intimacy, because you need that as the foundation and spiritual practice. Let's pull a few tarot cards and see what we get. With Kali, we're getting, oh my God, again, another card that keeps coming up over and over. 4 of Swords in the reverse. Although the message I'm getting here really is that it's time to take action. Like, it's important to go inward to hear your intuition, but you can't stay there forever. If you've been ruminating on something, it's probably time to get out of this stationary, he's like lying here. It almost looks like he's in a coffin, but he's just lying, he's resting, pondering, reflecting. In the reverse with Kali, it feels like something's got to move so that something can end. So let's clarify that. King of Pentacles upright, okay, and then 4 of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, again, lots of repeat messages lately. This is like it's like how abundant you feel, but a lot of times we look to the external world to dictate how we feel, prosperity-wise, abundance-wise, wealth-wise, because we think wealth means only money. But wealthy is also state of mind, because I know a lot of people that have a shit ton of money and they don't feel abundant. They don't feel secure. The money didn't change the insecurity. In fact, in some cases, it amplifies it. Like, I know people who make 6 figures a month and don't feel abundant. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, in the coaching world, there's some crazy stuff going on, and that alone is wild. There are definitely millionaires and multimillionaires that don't feel abundant. So it's not about the amount of money. You need a basic amount of money every month to take care of yourself. But let me just turn my AC off. Hold on. Yeah, I have the AC on because it's fucking 80 degrees on Halloween. How? Bring me winter. Okay, so this is about letting go of some of the ways that you're grasping to the material realm. It's like counterintuitive when you feel like there's not enough, and at the same time, there's this like belief system around stability and security that has been majorly affecting your life. And I want to say that it's been keeping you stuck. So I want to clarify that with another oracle card. So I'm actually going to get one more oracle card there. Mary Magdalene upright. Yeah. I am the bridge between heaven and earth. I am fully human and fully divine. The fact that she's coming upright really tells me that this is a spiritual lesson, because, you know, in the magician card in the tarot, he's got like one hand pointing up and one down, because the magician is also the bridge between heaven, quote unquote, or universal energy, and earthly realm. Your body is also the vessel, and a lot of spiritual people need to learn how to create in the material realm. They need to like ground the spiritual energy and create with it. And then some people are too attached to the material realm and they need to like ease into the spiritual realm. So there needs to be this like meeting in the middle. And I'm feeling like this money stuff or abundance stuff is part of what needs to end so that your true purpose can begin. So that more of your soul evolution can happen beyond just this particular loop I'm feeling. Kind of like a same thing over and over again on repeat. If you don't work with Mary Magdalene as a guide, then call her in, you know, ask for her support. What else am I getting here? Yeah, I'm feeling very much like, again, it's a spiritual lesson because it's almost like ascending power and descending power. A lot of spiritual people don't know how to handle money. They don't know how to like actually manifest spiritual with the spiritual knowledge that they have. And then some people are so attached, again, to the money, earthly, tangible realm that they need to raise their consciousness more, you know, and open up their higher chakras. So there's something going on there. Let's continue. I think this will all tie together. With Isis, again, sexual magic, pleasure is a prayer, bringing you back to life. We're getting Page of Cups reversed, Nine of Cups reversed, and Two of Pentacles juggling. Let's get one more. King of Wands reversed. Yeah, see, sexual energy is sacred, and then King of Wands is the like sexual energy, sort of passionate king in the suites. We've got Pentacles and the fire energy. The Pentacles one is the one that's upright because, again, the money stuff or the stability, abundance stuff could be overriding your passion, your joy, your emotional contentment. It is, because the emotions cards are reversed, both of them. It's like you want to open up, you're not emotionally satisfied, and you're juggling. And that's why I feel like you've got to let something go materially. I don't know what it is, but there's a reversal here of the grasping. If you can see, he's like grasping onto those pentacles, even under his feet. So there's a need to take action and let something go. I don't know, again, specifically what that means for you, but this is part of the reason why you're not happy. What else? Page of Pentacles let's clarify just Page of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles reversed. This is about feeling left out in the cold. It can be even codependency because this person's kind of trailing behind her, or feeling unstable on your own, feeling abandoned. It's almost like when you have more money or when you feel like you're doing better in the physical realm, it makes you feel like you're worthy. And when you don't, like if you experience, and I've experienced this, you guys, I mean, multiple times over. One of my biggest lessons has been feeling worthy when I didn't have a lot of money or when I didn't have a relationship. And it was like those 2 points when those things came to a screeching halt or I experienced a really big loss were the times when I really got to build my confidence and my self-esteem from within. And it's not easy, but it is really important if you then want to recreate the stability, but in a much healthier way, in a much more like spiritually aligned way where you're not feeling like shit all the time. You know, I just did the reading about this, the last one, loyalty isn't suffering. It's the same thing with like abundance. Like abundance doesn't mean you have to emotionally suffer. I said it in that other reading. But I think a lot of us are under the false impression that money defines you or a relationship defines you because we're conditioned that way. But it doesn't. But again, it's not an easy lesson to learn, and letting go of what feels stable and secure and shattering your illusions and shattering the identities that you've created around those situations. It's like when you lose a job, you get divorced or something. I've been through all of those. I left a job, I've been fired before, I did get a divorce, I broke up, like all these things where like I had an identity around that thing. And when the thing ended, it was like my identity dissolved. I didn't know who I was anymore. And that was really uncomfortable. But yet now, I can enjoy those things, you know, more money or, you know, intimacy or whatever it is. Like, I'm creating those things in my realm from a much different perspective. I know that those things don't define me. I know that if I ignorantly grasped them, again, Buddhism, like suffering comes from like ignorance. Ignorant aversion, like ignorantly disliking things, ignorantly craving things because we don't understand that the pleasure isn't coming from that thing, like it comes from us, so it's not out there. And then ignorance itself. So like those are 3 poisons in Buddhism. And that's the source of all suffering. So it's like if I understand that I can enjoy things, I can still want things, but I need to understand that the happiness isn't coming from the thing, because what happens if it disappears? Does that mean that I suck? Does it mean that I'm not worthy? Does it mean that I will never be happy again? See what I mean? So I'm feeling here that, and I've been having a lot of like these dreams, sexual activation dreams and things lately. Like I feel like this energy is very present, you know? I'm getting ready to open up my temple space again. Things start to change and align, especially because the Magdalene manuscript is such a powerful book about sexual magic and sexual energy, transmuting through this energy, purifying, alchemizing, transforming, raising your consciousness, and more. King of Wands is definitely passionate and a go-getter, but this is in the reverse, because it's like you can't go to get the thing you actually want until you let go of something that you're holding on to that's taking up space. It's going to feel probably counterintuitive to release something, because you're basically saying like, I'm trusting that there's something else on the other side of this, and also I'm trusting that I'll be provided for in a way that I don't see or expect. If you've never done that before, I remember the first time or two that I did that and took that leap of faith, and it was terrifying, but it was also fucking powerful, because then my life, I did these like quantum leaps in some cases. It was like, but I really had to create the space for the change to happen. So that's what I'm getting here. Let's pull one of these on each. So with Kali, we're getting the Kindred Seeker and Let It Be Easy. Yeah, and then with the Isis card, we're getting Ground Down. As I was saying, that's what I was kind of feeling. It's almost like if you're too attached to the material realm and your spiritual, your sort of like upper chakras are active, but you're not channeling them down, like you're not using that descending power, then you can feel really stressed out, anxious, like overthinking. It's really important, if you want to make this change, to ground yourself and center. And then we're getting Soft Touch. Interesting. And underneath, Gilding the Lily. I don't even know what that means. So let's see what these cards say. Underneath it says, just as you're right where you're meant to be, so too are your experiences perfectly imperfect just as they are. Never enough, here we go. Never enoughness is a symptom of hyper materialism. Wow. What was I saying? That's what I was saying. If you think that your worth only comes when you look a certain way, when you have a certain amount of money in the bank, then it's almost guaranteed that at some point in your spiritual path, you're going to have to let that go in order to grow. So it says, it's true that you deserve the best. It's true that you should feel nothing less than a big yes in the situations that you're choosing. And you do need to check in with your intuition, it says, to find out. But even when that situation, person, or thing is already a big hell yes, that doesn't mean it will be perfect or should be. You guys, the last 2 readings I did, I pulled the card, if it's not like a holy hell yes, then what is it? But remember, holy, like feeling like a big yes to something might be unusual, or maybe it's not like a full-bodied yes because your nervous system isn't used to joy. It's not used to getting what it actually wants. Maybe it's used to pain and suffering, and so pleasure feels weird. It feels wrong. It might feel like it's not the right choice. This is why you need a spiritual practice. This is why you need to strengthen your inner voice, so that in some cases you can override the fear. So it says, know when and nothing is going to be perfect. Not you, not them, not it. Don't let perfectionism keep you from the thrills right in front of you, however impermanent. If it's a yes, it's a yes. A lily gilded, meaning gold crusted, will only be spoiled. I love that. That feels so relevant to this first section in terms of like, you might be holding on and grasping to this idea that things need to be perfect, whatever that means to you, in order to be able to make a change, or for it to be like a yes, a full yes. But literally nobody is perfect. I just had a client session this morning and we were talking about this, and this person was contemplating staying in the relationship. There are some challenges, but you take, so long as it's not something super extreme or dangerous or whatever, it's like you take you wherever you go. If you love each other, you know, that's your projection happening in the relationship. The issues are coming from you too. So it's like, start with you before you just go shopping for a new partner or whatever, or shopping for a new situation or a new job or whatever. It's like, know that your relationships and your situations in your life are mirrors. Start with you and be open and curious. Now, if something's come to the end of the road and you're simply done and you don't want to put in the work there anymore because you're just like, this is not it, it's dysfunctional, it's truly not serving me anymore, I'm really not interested in this, then so be it, you know, then bring it to an end. But Spirit is saying, let it be easier. There's a battle raging in your mind between your inner critic and your sense of empowerment. The only winning move is not to play, to get out of your head entirely. Breathe, ground down, breathing deeply. And it says, yeah, where can you disentangle the knots of aloofness and resistance from your world or from your intimate relationships? With something as easy as a word or a touch. That's interesting because we're getting soft touch here too. I have to tell you this. I don't want to tell you all the details, but I want to tell you something that I dreamt about last night, which is this. It's so interesting. It says, don't think about it, journal it, or better yet, let instinct guide you in the moment. Let it be easy. And then the kindred seeker is saying that to take the path of the sensual seeker is to commit yourself to forever explore your emotional, physical, and mental terrains in the name of love. And then it says, you'll meet others on your passage, but not everyone is a spiritual seeker like you. Plenty have no interest in self-acceptance, let alone self-love. And those who can't love themselves can't love you. So it's saying to think about qualities that you desire in like soul family or soulmates. And yeah, people who are aiming for knowledge in the things that you're also interested in. It just feels like you need to also probably find community of people who are like-minded. Like maybe you've really been stuck in a material world with material boys and girls or whatever, like people who are really materialistic. It's whatever, it happens. You know, there's people like that in the world. They're not interested in spiritual pursuits, and that's fine. It's not for everybody. But like, if you're a spiritual, we're all spiritual, but I'm saying if you're on a spiritual path consciously and you're not around anyone like you, yeah, you are where you're meant to be right now to learn a lesson. As the Gilded Lily says, your situation right now is teaching you something, but like you also deserve to be with people who are like-minded. Community is medicine, you know, and so is partnership with people who get it too. Not that your partner has to be spiritual to be happy. They don't. But if that's something you really value and you desire, then why not? You can have that. But as I said, you're going to have to let something go. So that's that. And then we're getting this ground down, which is very obvious. It's like you need to get into your body. However that looks, deep breaths, walking outside, you know, just knowing that it says most of us by default have our head in the clouds or even on our phones. We act like our minds aren't connected to our bodies, like they're separate. By grounding back into our body every day, we realize their power combined, and there's so much pleasure to be found in this place because we are getting the goddess of sexual magic. Now, the soft touch card says, as much as we'd like to be rational, logical beings, our innate need for human touch betrays us. We are animals. We forge our safety, belonging, dignity, and pleasure first through physical contact. In anxious moments, making visceral contact with our own bodies brings us down to earth. And in moments of mutual indulgence, slow, intentional touch forms bonds of tactile desire. We yearn for touch, our own and others, and yet rush through it as a hurried prelude to gratification. Reacquaint yourself with unhurried, mindful touching. Discover the meandering, anticipatory pleasure of stroking, etc. It's gentle, you know, and appreciating every small or large sensation. Yeah, it's feeling like, it's really interesting because there's that like dichotomy of the sexual magic, the King of Wands who's super passionate, and then this like gentleness, this slowing down, this grounding down, maybe to not be impulsive or reckless right now. But also, if your intimate needs are not being met, then you probably need to start meeting more for yourself, even if that means like getting in the shower or the bath, doing a little massage, light massage on yourself, no matter what gender you are. It's for men too. Maybe you need some self-pleasure, but not like frantic. Like maybe you really just need to go slow and bring yourself back into your body, but not in this like hurried, oh my God, I gotta get off type of way. Because if you're feeling lonely, or if this is an issue and it's something that you're struggling with, and maybe it's part of the reason you're not happy, which is so many people, you know, even in our session today, it's like a lot of people are struggling with intimacy, you guys. They're struggling to ask for their needs. They're not meeting their own. They're putting a lot of pressure on the other person, etc. And so it's like, I had this dream last night, and in the dream with this other person, it was like, we're talking about this. It was like, well, what if we just did something really gentle? Like the other person was basically saying like, okay, well, what if it's not like this crazy intense, but it's just like very gentle? And what if we just like start here? And so I just think it's really funny that it came through in the cards, because I just thought it was an interesting dream. It was kind of like compromising and being like, let's not rush it, and like, let's do this other thing. And it was coming from the other person, not from me. So I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. To me, it feels like, let's just get one more oracle card actually, and then I gotta go. Spirit, give us one more message. What do we need to know about all this? Lilith, of course, the spooky, witchy, sexual energy, untamed, the first woman. It says, I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. It's kind of Kali wavelength in terms of it's time to be the truth of who I am. I choose the life I want to live. It's like, this is your choice. If you choose to stay, again, maybe it's too heavily invested in the material realm where you're denying your emotional needs, dying your sexual needs. Maybe your sexual stuff is dying, or it's felt dead for a while because you need to come back to life. No, maybe that's not a Freudian. So denying, I wanted to say, your sexual needs, like you're choosing that. And it's fine. People have all sorts of reasons or even excuses for why they're choosing what they're choosing. But I guess the point here is like, you're so powerful. Like, you're getting Isis, the goddess of sexual magic. Like, the ability to not just have what you desire, but like have it also in relationship. I'm just gonna, sorry, the Queen of Clarifying. One more on Isis. Oh my God, yeah. Lalita, the red goddess. Playfulness is a spiritual power. Laughter leads me back to the light. In the reverse. It's like the joy and the playfulness is missing from your life. If you're not getting it where you are right now, if it's you're alone or if you're in a partnership, like you need to bring the playfulness back for yourself first. And that's hard when you're in a bad place. Like if you're feeling upset, low, depressive or whatever, like it doesn't feel natural to bring in playful energy, but it's like it's like I said in the last reading, these readings are all repeating themselves. You can have it all. You can, but you need to choose it all. And you also probably need to start to meet some of your own needs. So you can have stability in the material realm and playfulness. You can have material stability and joy and pleasure and intimacy and love. Like you can have those things, but if you don't feel worthy of it, then you're going to keep making choices that keep you stuck in situations where you're not feeling satisfied. Or where you keep denying certain needs because maybe there's a part of you that's like, no, I don't deserve it. You do deserve it. Let's cut the deck here. This card says, radical aliveness is an antidote to the unremarkable and ordinary. Stepping into this embodied state is the quickest way to an intensely pleasurable life. What is radical aliveness? It's remembering that you have only one wild and precious life and that every day brings us closer to death. So live fully, openly, in commitment to your enjoyment. Have a hidden fantasy? Explore it. Want to feel a certain way? Chase that feeling. Life is your free buffet breakfast and you only live once that we know of. Make sure you taste everything. Yeah, radical aliveness, because if you've been feeling dead inside, know that your sexual energy is powerful, that you can start slow and start to get back in contact with yourself. You can do meditations. There are 5 of them in the Magdalene manuscript that you can utilize, or you can come join me. If you're a woman in Rose Temple or Magdalene Mysteries, the advanced level of that in the winter after holidays, get on the wait list. Link is below. I'm going to have the wait list open for Rose Temple next week. If you're a man, you can come do a session with me. Book a 1-to-1 60 minutes to start. I'll give you some practices to use after our call, or you can work with me 1-to-1 for longer. So other than that, I'm sending you guys so much love. Happy Halloween. I'll see you in the next one.